All right. The Sort of Sports Podcast presents The Big Salad.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have that big salad!
Hosted by the one and only Quinn Maseko.
Thank you, Ryan. To begin episode 3, we'll flash around to the MLB playoffs, talk about Bruce Arians' birthday, and study some college football. And to begin today's conversation, we'll start right there with NCAA football. With impressive wins this weekend in the Big Ten, 4 teams are highly ranked in the top 11 in the Big Ten East. And Ryan, do you think the Big Ten East right now is the toughest division in NCAA football at the moment?
Well, I think Michigan State's competitive. I know that's your team. They're competitive.
Amen.
They're not going to make the college football playoff if it's 4 teams.
No, but they have a good chance to go to run the table to their bye week. They have Rutgers, and then a team that I can't remember in 2 weeks. But
Probably nobody then.
well, it's somebody. I just gotta.
Well, I'm saying somebody not that impressive.
Well,
Point is, then Ohio State, we know is competitive.
Indiana. It'll be a tough one.
Okay.
But it'll be tough, but it'll be Indiana's on a downslope right now. On a downslope.
I stand by Ohio State is not a playoff team. I think Penn State potentially could be. And I think the Big Ten East isn't the toughest. I don't think it's the toughest. I'm going to be honest with you, Quinn.
All right.
And because I think the best team in the Big Ten is Iowa. And they're in the Big Ten West.
That doesn't mean that division's that
Yes,
tough,
but I think the best division in college football, and the sad truth of the matter is they're right. It's the SEC. The 2 best teams are in the SEC.
West?
SEC West, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying,
Well, I think it's the only one comparable. Because
that's the only one comparable.
Here's what's comparable.
I agree.
We'll go through right here. So the Big Ten East, ranked teams here. There are 4 of them. Penn State at number 4, Ohio State at number 7, Michigan at number 9, Sparty at number 11. All right, and if we go to the SEC West, as it loads in.
SEC overall is the better conference.
Well, the SEC West got Alabama at number 1.
Yep.
Arkansas number 13, Ole Miss number 17, Auburn number 18. So that number 1 kind of bumps up their average, obviously. Now the East obviously is still tougher too. They got Georgia number 2, Kentucky number 16, and Florida number 20. So overall, yes.
The SEC's better conference.
SEC's better.
But you're saying division-wise.
Division-wise,
I think the Big Ten East is right there. The reason I do like the West is because I do think Ole Miss is maybe... I think Ole Miss is ranked too low. I think Ole Miss is a really good team.
They underwhelmed their expectations, though. I mean, did you see? If you didn't see it, hopefully we can plug this in right here. But if you did not see it, we're gonna plug in Lane Kiffin's pregame interview. If you did not see it,
What'd he do? What happened?
well, you'll have to see in this clip.
Well, let's hope we didn't run out of pages. So here we go. Get your popcorn ready.
What's the big thing?
Whoa. I guess he's ready.
What?
Yes. So I mean, Lane Kiffin, he kind of
Okay,
stop
then.
those pregame interviews.
Okay, then.
But, yeah, I mean, I was expecting where Ole Miss to. I mean, last year it was a shootout. It was a 63-48 win for Alabama.
Yep.
But this year I thought, okay, Ole Miss, he should know them better. Their quarterback's better. Their offense is better. They should be able to maybe make this a game. And no, it was a 42-21 win. Mostly, I mean, a couple of cheap touchdowns for Ole Miss in the fourth quarter for them to make it closer. But I was looking for that to be close. But I think the reason why it seems tougher in the Big Ten East because I think more teams can make it competitive there compared to the SEC West where Alabama looks like they'll probably dominate the whole time.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. Well, honestly, I believe the college football playoff is going to be Georgia, Bama, Iowa, and some other team. I don't know who the 4th one is, but I love this Iowa team.
We'll talk about that.
I'm just going to say the Iowa Hawkeyes this year play like a 2013 Bama team.
Okay.
With the run heavy, with the defense, and I like it. They're playing the old, early 2010s football, and I like it. Bama, has shifted in the last couple years, become very pass-heavy, more modern. Iowa's playing the football we saw 10, 15 years ago, and it's fun to watch. I really like this Iowa team.
I like Kirk Ferentz this is probably his best team It's his best team since the 2015 team, which basically played in a quarterfinal for the college football playoff against Michigan State in the Big Ten championship. I was at that game present. That was a good team. It was a very good game.
Michigan State won that, right?
We did.
Yep. And they went to the playoff
13,
and lost to
Alabama. Yes.
The national champion, Bama.
Yes, had chances to get in that game, but just couldn't capitalize. So, anyway, gonna move on to MLB as the playoffs start tomorrow, as in Tuesday. And the Red Sox and Yankees are playing the American League wild card, which Ryan predicted. I believe we both predicted.
We think we both went Red Sox Yankees. We felt like the fates were going to align.
Right, we'll have to go back to the tape, and we'll report on that next week. But on tomorrow, so what are you looking forward to most tomorrow between the Yankees and Red Sox?
I want the whole world to see... Well, Xander Bogaerts will always be underrated, so they're not going to talk about Bogaerts enough. But Rafael Devers... Man has been great this entire year
Hit that two-run
for the Red
homer
Sox.
yesterday.
Yep, I'm saying he is awesome. And third base is one of the weaker positions from a talent perspective at the moment in the MLB. Kind of like second base. But a lot of your big name guys right now are outfielders or shortstops. That's where a lot of your best offensive players are right now.
Middle infielders, yes.
And so third base, things a little underappreciated, especially now that Chris Bryant, one of the premier third basemen, kind of bounces around position-wise.
Yep, no Ryan Zimmer.
Yep. And Rafael Devers, he's like the best third baseman in baseball. He's awesome. And especially since Vlad Guerrero Jr. used to play third too, and then they moved him first. So, I just want everybody to be able to watch my guy Rafael Devers, and I hope the Red Sox win because I guarantee they're pitching Sale, right?
Well, not if there's no official.
They haven't said anything.
I just checked. So, right. We're going to assume that the Yankees are pitching Cole.
Yeah.
They could pitch somebody else.
Why would they, though?
I'm
guessing they're going Cole.
What are they guided by? Are they going to be guided by it's their best physically or their best analytically? That's the thing, because this is in the modern. Now we're in the 2020s, where it's all about
the numbers.
It's all about
baseball's based off Statcast and Baseball Savant and stuff like that. Stuff like I like a lot of the numbers stuff. Yeah. Here's my thing with the Yankees: is that the Yankees are the streaky team. They're like the Cardinals, but even more streaky than that of the AL, where if they get rolling, they'll take a hold of this game and it'll be over. If they start off cold, it's over. The Red Sox are just...
The Yankees?
Yes, the Yankees. They'll all go like 0 for 4, 1 for 4, or they'll all go like 2 for 3 and 2 for... You know what I mean? They're all going to have a bad game and they're all going to have a good game. Just the way it usually works out for them. I'm not on board really with thinking the Yankees are going to win this. Tomorrow I'm going to record before the game my MLB predictions, just a regular episode of Sort of Sports Podcast. And spoiler alert, I'm taking the Red Sox in this one. So,
okay.
I'm looking forward to Rafael Devers most.
Here's the thing. I don't understand if they would pitch somebody else, which they could. But Chris Sale, who's came back, he's played 9 games.
Yep.
Started all 9.
Yep.
5-1.
Yep. He's been just like the old Sale.
5-1. He's only given up 45 hits. Well, he's given up 45 hits over 42 2/3 innings. So that's almost a hit an inning, which is a little.
That's a little much. Yeah, that's a little much.
No, I wouldn't say it's much. It's a hit an inning. That's not
for being a Cy Young guy. I mean, that's a little much.
Cy Young guy. Yes. Okay.
That's good pitching, but it's not like.
Yes, 52 strikeouts to 12 base on balls. 11 strikeouts over 9. Not bad. I mean. And his ERA... No,
it's still good pitching.
His ERA is 3.16.
That's still good pitching. That's not elite pitching, though, is what I'm saying.
No, but he's still coming back from Tommy John. He was gone for 2
years.
Oh,
no. I'm not disputing this at all. I think he's still good, but he's not the same Chris Sale immediately. There's going to be a little bit of a... He's going to have to come back.
No. Yes. They have to be pitching Garrett Cole. I guess they could pitch Corey Kluber, but I don't know what would be the point of that.
Yeah.
So... No, I'm looking for. I think it's going to be a good pitching battle if they pitch Cole Sale. I think it's going to be interesting hitting wise, like you said, that both teams have great hitters. Devers, Bogaerts for the Red Sox, Martinez for the Red Sox, and then on the Yankees with Cole and Stanton and others. I think it's going to be a really high octane game. I'll be interested to tuning in to that tomorrow night as well. All right. Probably the biggest headline is what took place yesterday in the NFL. Many games and narratives were broken over this past
This is
Sunday.
a big Sunday.
What was your biggest takeaway from Sunday's NFL games, Ryan?
Well, I have the main takeaway, then I have my Panthers takeaway. Which one would you like to hear first?
Panthers takeaway.
Panthers takeaway was this.
You know, Shaq Thompson's out now.
Yes, I'm very upset about this. I think the Panthers are still that 10-7, maybe 11-6 playoff team I talked about at the beginning of the year. I genuinely think they're going in all the right directions. And on top of that, young quarterback, young running back, young wide receivers, rookie tight end, rookie backup running back. Brian Burns, my favorite guy on the whole team, who's a linebacker, is only his third year in the NFL. He's really good. J.C. Horn, rookie. C.J. Henderson, I think he's going to his second or third year, who we just traded for. So I guess what I'm saying is, if we're a good team this year, make the wild card and lose in a divisional, that's not terrible for me. So I'm saying, big picture, the Panthers are on the right track. They're a young team that's going in the right direction. This isn't like Jaguars where it's like, hey guys, we're a young team, what are we doing?
Right.
So I like that. But I'm not saying I don't want to go on and be a Super Bowl team, but I don't know if that's really our ceiling at the moment. So I'm saying, to be honest, I think the defense is really good still. I think Zeke did tear us up and show us some holes we have. And Matt Rule said that in post-game interviews I was watching, that he's like, we got to fix those holes and look at that tape. Brian Burns said that. They're like, how'd you feel about, you guys only gave up 30 rushing yards to teams, and then, the first quarter Zeke had more than 30 rushing yards.
Right.
You'd only given up 30 rushing yards per game before this. And Brian Burns is like, well, we got to go to the tape and figure out what we did wrong.
Right.
And I just like what we have going on overall. I think Darnold showed that he did throw 2 interceptions. But really the weakest part, and this is usually what almost every person that watches their team a lot says, is the offensive line. Mm-hmm. That's usually what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And I think the offensive line, they either got to sign some guys or do some better runs, figure out what they're doing more, because Darnold, I don't think, throws an interception if that line's not. He's getting rushed a lot. I mean, Micah Parsons coming at him. Mm-hmm. And Diggs has been awesome for the Cowboys. So that's part of it. But I'm not making excuses. I'm saying the Cowboys were the better team, sadly. But overall, I do still think the Panthers are legit. To be honest, to me, this wasn't I said this to my friend who's a Cowboys fan. Mm-hmm. I said, this game to me wasn't the Panthers are legit. This game to me was the Cowboys are more legit. Mm-hmm. That's what it was to me. To me, this felt like a Cowboys legitimacy game than a Panthers legitimacy. I think everybody still pretty much like, wow, Darnold is looking like that franchise guy.
Right.
They're obviously hurt because McCaffrey's out.
Right.
But that defense is, not perfect, but they're still a good defense. And then, let's see if they can be a wild card team. I think they're starting to get a narrative like maybe this is a wild card team, but I don't know. I think, honestly, we're still a good team, and I like the direction we're trending in, but this was a wake-up call to, hey, you're not just the best defense by a mile. You have problems you got to fix. You're a young team.
Right.
So I hope the Panthers get back on track. We play the Eagles next Sunday. Well, I guess this coming Sunday. We should be able to beat the Eagles. If we don't handily beat the Eagles, then we've got issues. That's panic time. I think we should be able to handily beat the Eagles, and Darnold should look great again. I mean, I had somebody say to me, can you imagine the money you made off a prop bet where it says Darnold leads the league in rushing touchdowns week 4? Because he does. He has the most rushing touchdowns out of any player.
How many?
I think 5.
Ooh.
5 or 6.
He
had 2. He had 2 or 3. What he ends up doing a lot is the play breaks down. He just goes for it. Mm-hmm. Cam Darnold is what they were calling him the other day. He's been awesome. I really like Darnold. So I really like what the Panthers are doing. We're trending in the right direction, but yeah, it's like this is usually what happens to a young team that starts hot. It's like, hey, you're not there yet, guys. So maybe we get them on track. I think, to be honest, we're going to be a wild card team, or maybe the Bucks. We know Brady hasn't played awesome in the regular season every year of his career. Sometimes he takes a back seat and then steps up in the playoffs.
Right.
Maybe we win the division and then, lose to a wild card team. Mm-hmm. That could happen too. But I honestly believe the Panthers are still a playoff team. But I think the Cowboys looked good, but they're the Cowboys. I have to see them win at least 3 or 4 more to believe they're legit, because every year the Cowboys start hot, and then by week 10 or 12, it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We'll see on the Cowboys. I have more faith in the Panthers than the Cowboys at the moment, just because I think they're a less streaky team.
Yeah.
So Now, my big main takeaway. Sorry, that was a big tangent on the Panthers.
No.
My big main takeaway is that, and this I guess is a question, are the Cardinals the best team? Because I've been pondering this. And a part of me is kind of angry because I had a big Kyler Murray for MVP chant going last year. I remember I was big on him. I predicted him and the Cardinals to be...
The Hail Murray?
Yep, I predicted him and the Cardinals to be one of the best teams in the NFC. I thought they would be absolute studs. And it looks like it's this year for them. I do still believe the Rams are the better team. I think the Cardinals are going to have a game that's like, hey, hold up. But what's weird about it is they're in the same division. I think the two best teams in the NFC and potentially the two best teams in the entire NFL are in the same division.
Possibly. But it also could be an AFC West, not an NFC West.
AFC West. The West divisions are the two
They're
best.
stacked right now.
It's AFC
Yeah.
West, NFC West, and AFC North. Those are the three best divisions. And AFC South's probably the worst right now.
It is. Prince Harry was not doing too
And the
well.
Titans, of course, lost to the Jets.
Well, that was my takeaway, so yes.
Yep.
yes.
So I'm saying it's ugly down there. I think the Titans will still win it, but still, it's still ugly. And then, so yeah, I still think the Rams are the better team, but I think Kyler Murray and the Cardinals showed like we're legit.
Right.
So
I agree. I think the I mean, they did not just beat the Rams; they smashed the Rams.
Yep.
So that's what makes the narrative there is that everybody thought Stafford and the Rams offense would be unstoppable, and,
including me.
Yes, and I think, and obviously that was. Not
I
the
still
case.
think they're a Super Bowl team, but I think
Yes,
the Cardinals showed, hey, we are too.
right.
But granted, we're like you said last week, we're going into week 5. Well, I guess last week you said we're going into week 4. So
into
we
week
never.
5.
I mean, the Cardinals could lose 3 straight.
True.
I don't think they're gonna.
They got a tough game. They got the 49ers and the Browns back to back.
They should be able to beat. If they lose to the Browns, who looks better? Where does the narrative go? Is it holy crap Browns or is it oh my gosh Cardinals fell off? I think it's holy crap go Browns. I think the Browns get the positive presses in. I don't think it's oh my gosh how did they lose to the Browns? I think it's nice on the Browns beating that team. Would you agree?
Well, yeah, because the league has felt pity for the Browns for 25 years.
That's
and now
true.
they're
Well, I'm
finally
saying
doing
certain
something.
games it's like it's either holy crap they lost to them or nice
Right.
for them they beat them.
Right.
So it just depends on how everybody's feeling about that team.
Right. I agree.
I think the Cardinals, that's actually not a bad pick for them to lose their... We'll have to talk about that in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Because that's
There
not a
is.
bad pick
We'll
for
see
them to
what
lose.
happens,
The
but
Browns' defense has
first,
been
they gotta take
stifling.
care
The
of the
offense
Niners.
has been... The offense has been a little rough.
Yes, a little shaky there. Well, my biggest takeaway, I was like I said earlier, was the Jets getting their first win against the Titans, and just the Titans are wasting a bunch of talent, just like my own team, the Steelers. So I don't know what's going on with those two teams,
my.
but they got to get it together because they're wasting a lot of talent, and they should have better records than what they have currently. Another takeaway was actually coming out of the AFC East as well, was last night's Sunday night game, Patriots-Bucks. I thought Belichick had Brady beat, and then both missed that field goal.
I stand by, even though they lost that
Belichick
game.
had a great strategy to
Yep.
contain the Buccaneers, which was to force the Buccaneers to run the ball and Brady to pass short because they knew that the secondary is the best part of that.
Yep. I honestly
Patriots defense.
believe that, yes, Brady won the game, but I think that game's the first Mac Jones game I've watched where I'm like, yes, this is what I thought
mean,
you were
he
going to
had
be.
19 passes completed in a row.
Well, you know the drive. Anybody who watched that game knows the drive I'm talking about. When he just marched them down, it was just zip, 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 zip,
Yep.
zip, zip, zip. He just short pass, and that's what Brady always used to
scored a
do.
touchdown on that
Brady always used to do that too. Back when he was in New England, he threw. I would like to know the numbers on his ratio of like passes over 20 yards now to what it used to be, because I think Arians has him thrown out a lot more, Peyton Manning style. Because Arians, used to be a Peyton Manning. I think Arians
And
has him
with
throw a lot.
Roethlisberger.
Like just last night, we watched Antonio Brown get that big catch. Like Brady throws it deep a lot more
Right.
than he used to. I bet it just feels that way because Belichick loves the little zip, 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 zip 5-yard gain, 8-yard gain, 10-yard gain.
Methodically go down.
Yes,
the
he
field.
likes to take his time.
Guess what? I'm going to propose for next week. That can be your special section.
What?
You can do your Brady ratio.
I should look into StatCast.
That's why I wrote it
I will
down.
look into that.
Okay, Ryan's special section. It's already signed up. Now it's assigned this week by Quinn. But
All right, it's a signed special
it's a
section.
signed special section. It's not a special secret section. So no, I thought it was a good game last night. I thought it was portrayed well. I mean, come on, all the Sunday night crew was there. I mean, Mike Tirico, Drew Brees.
Breeze is great.
They brought in Rodney Harrison with Tony Dungy and all that, and kudos to Rodney Harrison's umbrella holding person because they held it like a champ. And Maria Taylor was back in studio, and no, I think they brought all the stops there just because of the record breaking and those kinds of things going to happen. So,
do you think Mac Jones is the future of the Patriots then?
I think he is the best looking rookie quarterback right now.
I wholeheartedly agree because I think Wilson is very talented, but he's in a Jets system.
Yep.
I think Lawrence.
But Robert Saleh will get that better.
I think Lawrence is going to be good, but I'm not sure if Lawrence is going to. I don't know. I'm not sure on Lawrence. I think he's going to be good, and he's their franchise guy. I
think the question is how long will Urban stay?
Exactly, because the other issue with Urban is I said this to my friends. I said, "What does Urban excel at?" And I'm like, "It's not quarterbacks, it's running backs." And you know who's been great for them is James Robinson. Their running back. He's awesome.
Yep. And they'll have money to spend this offseason to upgrade things.
So it's a good thing he's good. Right. Because they know how to, and they have Travis Etienne. Etienne. I didn't mean, I could never say his name, I'll be honest. I don't watch Clemson games.
Okay, but he was in the national press. I figured you knew.
That's true.
I figured you had it.
Well, yeah, I don't know how I messed that one up. But point is, they drafted him, and I was kind of confused because I was like, don't they have that Robinson kid? And he's pretty good. And he is good.
Robinson kid, hell,
well,
he's
they
45, I mean.
No, he's not. He's 23.
Young.
Yeah, that's
okay, he's not a kid, though.
From NFL standards, that's a child.
Sure.
But Robinson, he's awesome, so I'm like, why don't... I guess they're going to run a duo.
I think they could mirror Stefanski's offense in Cleveland because he runs the duo running back.
I think they're running the most... I would also like to know, I'll have to look into this too, how many RPOs they run. Because it feels like I see Lawrence running the ball all the time. So I'm a little worried because I'm like, I think Lawrence is good, but I don't feel like he's got a coach that's taking advantage of what Lawrence is good at. That makes sense?
Which is what? Not RPOs?
Which is, well, I don't think Lawrence should be in a run-heavy offense that Urban Meyer is running.
Well,
Lawrence, I think Lawrence would benefit from, like, the Niners system.
Well, he's not getting in that one.
No. Trey Lance is.
Either way, Trey Lance was in for the injury this week.
Honestly, I think Lawrence is their franchise guy, but I don't know if he's ever going to hit that level of top-tier NFL quarterbacks with Urban there. Mm-hmm. And that's just...
We'll see.
I think Urban...
You got to get just a little patience, as Axl Rose says.
That's very true. Just a little patience. But I'm just saying... Mac looks like the best. I think Fields has a ton of potential.
He does. He looked better this week.
And Lance has the most, like we talked before, Lance has the highest ceiling. Trey Lance has the highest ceiling. But I think Mac's the guy for New England. And I like Mac Jones a lot. I think he's a good guy. So
right. They got to get those tight ends involved more in New England. They spent
Hunter Henry's huge contract.
And Jonnu Smith as well. So,
yeah.
I mean, they got to get him involved. But
I liked Mac, though. I thought he looked good.
Nope, I agree. So, all right. Our game this week is Fortune Teller. So, hark. I think I hear the first caller coming in with the fortune. Hey, Quinn Ryan. Do you see number 4 Penn State coming out with the win at number 3 Iowa on Saturday?
No. Iowa's winning it because, as I said before, they're the better team. If Penn State wins, though, I think you might as well mark them into the college football playoff because they're winning the whole Big Ten then. This is essentially the Big Ten championship, in my eyes.
I think Iowa's going to protect the homestand here.
I agree. I think Iowa's winning.
And I think it's because of the run heavy. They're going to wear down Penn State's front. Clifford's not going to have time to throw because of Iowa's defensive front. It's going to be interesting to see what James Franklin's game plan is here. Now, I personally think even if Penn State does win, I don't think it's all wrapped up in a bow for them on the Big Ten East because they still have to play Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State. And here's what happened in the Big Ten, okay, with the scheduling. It's not like the SEC. It's not like where they put they stuff a hard game and put a couple easy ones there.
Yeah, they stack
I just
it.
want to let you know, the Big Ten is stacked that last month. I mean, Ohio State's schedule, they got to pay Penn State, Michigan, and Michigan State all there. Same thing with Michigan State. Same thing with Michigan. Same thing with Penn State. They're all playing the tough games right in the last month. So I'll be interested to see how those go when we get to that post-Halloween period. But that's my opinion for now. Oh, I hear the next fortune coming up. Hey, Ryan Quinn. Can the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals escape Los Angeles with a National League wildcard victory?
I wish,
on
but
Wednesday?
no. Dodgers are winning that, and it feels like this whole season has been building to this Dodgers Giants pennant, and it's going to be a DS, and I'm fine with that, but because I think there's a better chance the Giants beat them. I think the Giants are a better team, but as I see, I'm already talking about the Giants, and the Dodgers still have a game to play. So,
Right.
the Cardinals win. Thank you. You slayed the dragon. Thank you. I beat the Dodgers, please. But let's be real. They're going to pitch Scherzer, or they're going to pitch Bueller. It doesn't matter who they pitch. Those are two of the best pitchers in the MLB.
Kershaw because he's out.
No. And those
That
are
hurts
two.
him in the long run.
It does, but I mean, Scherzer's the best postseason pitcher they have. Mm-hmm. And Bueller's been awesome every postseason too. So
Yes.
I mean, they got two of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yes.
Trey Turner's been amazing since he's been traded there. I mean, he's been amazing before, but he's even better now. Mm-hmm. Really, the weakest spot in their lineup's Cody Bellinger, and he's a former MVP.
Right.
So I'm getting sad thinking about it. Go Cardinals, but the Dodgers are gonna win.
I'm going to side with my good old NL Central
Please do.
Cardinals because
Bring some hope to the podcast.
And the reason is because they're red hot. I mean, look, they won every game except for one against the Brewers, their last 20-some. And then now they're going to go out to L.A. Yes, they're going to have to face Scherzer, but I still think what the Cardinals have done, and they've shown in their win streak, and their winning ways the last month, was that they always come back.
Yep.
They get down 5th, 6th inning, they come back and they beat your bullpen in the 7th, 8th, 9th. So that's what be interesting. Now, if Scherzer's hot, obviously, or whoever's pitching, Bueller, is hot, and you keep him in for all 9, maybe that stifles him. But I don't know what the mojo is going to be. Mike Schultz going to have his team together. Goldschmidt, Carlson, Hader, they're all going to be there. Wainwright's probably going to be pitching for the Cardinals, which is their ace at 40 years old. And Yadier Molina, and don't forget, Yadier Molina will be behind the plate. And yes, Arenado at third base. So they got
crap, and the
plenty of
Dodgers
weapons.
and Mookie Betts. How did I forget? Oh.
We like him with Boston. Don't know why they ever traded him away, which was dumb.
Well, he
So-
wanted out, didn't he?
No. So I think he just wanted more money.
That's
But
what
they
it was,
wouldn't give
yeah.
him. So anyway, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals, and we'll just see. We split on this one. We'll see who's right.
Yep.
When it comes.
Sounds good.
Oh, I hear the last fortune. Can you see the Cincinnati Bearcats making the college football playoff, Ryan and Quinn?
Ooh. See, is it officially 6 or 4 teams? Do we know?
Let's look it up.
Because it's been very
Everybody's
mysterious.
debated it.
Everyone, some people I talk to are like, I think it's 4. Maybe it's 6. Because it's changing. We all know it should be 6 or 8. It needs to be more. I don't know why it's not more. They make more money if it's more. It should be more. But if it's 4, there's no way. It's not gonna happen. If it's 6, I think it's very possible. I think it's very doable that Cincinnati can squeeze in there at the 6 or the 5 slot. But it's going to be tough because Georgia, Bama are borderline locks. I think Big Ten's going to have a representative. And then it's 4, 5, 6. And you got to hope you can squeeze in there because Clemson isn't in it and Ohio State's not going to be in it.
Still going to be 4.
It's still going to be 4. Okay, that's going to be borderline impossible. I would love to see it happen, but you would have to be incredible from now on. Quinn, can you give me Cincinnati's schedule by any chance?
Yes, I am. I just wanted to. Yes, so it's only 4. We'll see what happens there. Tons of proposals out there, like we've said. And it is coming up right here. It's flying. It's flying as fast as it can. They're ranked 5th right now in the latest AP poll. So Cincinnati got a big win. Let's just say this. Let's preface this. Cincinnati's gotten 2 big wins All right, we're still going to count Indiana as a big win because they were expected to be a good team.
Yep, they
even
were.
though they've
They
fallen
were.
off the wagon. They got a big win at Notre Dame this weekend. They host
That
Temple.
was huge. That was
They
huge.
host Temple. They still have UCF they have to play, which will be a decent game. Now Tulsa's fallen off the wagon. And their probably next biggest game though in the American Athletic Conference. They should be able to run the table the rest of their schedule, but they have Southern Methodist University, SMU. They're undefeated as well.
Okay.
24.
So if Cincinnati wins out, doesn't lose a single game, I think you gotta give them the 4 spot.
I think that's definitely reasonable.
Because especially last year they didn't. Yeah, I mean that kind of feeds in. Like
Right, and
Well,
they
they're-
should have beaten Georgia last year, and
mhm.
a couple mistakes they made there at the end.
So I'm saying I would love to see it happen. I hope it does happen, but they have to be perfect.
right. Yeah, I think Cincinnati.
And then you have to play Bama. So that's a lot of that's
Well, maybe not. It
It's-
could be Georgia.
It could be Georgia.
What about this?
Okay.
Georgia beats them in the SEC championship. Georgia number 1, Alabama now number 4, Cincinnati number 3. They avoid them, and then they set up again Georgia Bama in the semifinal already.
I'd love that.
But they won't do that because Bama has to make it to the final so they can get the ratings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're not
but-
gonna do that. What they do is they put Bama 3, Iowa Bama, or Penn State Bama, whoever you like. I like
Right.
Iowa. Iowa Bama, and then Cincinnati, Georgia.
Yeah.
And then poor old Cincinnati is to play who I think has been the best team in college football. Georgia. And it feels like that finally Bulldogs are having their year. Because they
Yes.
almost did a couple years
We'll
back.
see. They
They were supposed to have their year back in 2017.
They gotta beat Bama.
They got to. They
gotta
have to
beat
win the
Bama.
SEC.
That's the problem.
That's the key to the national championship every
Right.
year. Is
I
beating,
don't
is
think
winning
they
the
play 'em
SEC.
in the regular season.
But they play in the SEC championship. I mean, that's what
They
we said
could,
about LSU that
hopefully.
year of Joe Burrow. Is it if you beat Bama guys, you're that team that wins the national championship, and they did. They beat.
Let's see. Yes, Georgia does not play Alabama in the regular season, which is good because sometimes they do have crossover games between divisions.
Yes,
But
they do.
Do I see Cincinnati Bearcats making it? I do. They got a big resume win against
I'd love it.
Notre Dame.
I would love
they
it.
looked really good against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense is supposed to be above average. So, and Desmond Ritter has looked really good as well. I think they're kind of on a revenge tour too. They felt that they should have won the Peach Bowl last year against Georgia,
Yep.
and then they made a couple mental mistakes, I believe, on defense at the end, and that cost them the game. But we'll see what happens when they come back.
Now, Quinn, how awesome would it be? Double upsets. Iowa beats Bama. Georgia loses Cincinnati. We get Iowa, Cincinnati national title.
Might as well throw some cornfields out there around
Oh,
the
yeah.
stadium. Midwest Baptist.
Field of Dreams national
Yep,
championship.
If you build it, they will come.
Exactly.
So-
Would you now? The ratings would be really low,
I would still tune
but
in.
I would love it.
Right.
Who would you root for?
Oh, Iowa.
I would root for Iowa because when is Iowa gonna be in the national championship again?
I'm too Big Ten.
Well, I'm Big Ten backer, and it's just fun because I like Iowa. So I think it's a fun team.
Well,
I mean, they pump out linemen like
City.
no other.
yeah.
They have the most linemen drafted. I think it's them and
It's a
Bama.
tradition like no other.
A tradition
Pumping out
like no
linemen.
other.
Pumping out linemen.
Pumping out linemen. Only on CBS.
Only. Only on the Big Ten Network.
Now,
I
the
guess now.
commercials for this year's halftime show are nowhere near as annoying as the weekend ones from last year.
Right.
So-
okay, they haven't really putting that many commercials out.
I just
But
saw one that was like
let's
Snoop
just-
Dogg walking
yes,
around.
Let's announce. If you did not see, real quick before the special section
Yes.
begins, if you did not see the Super Bowl
It's
halftime
Kendrick
show,
Lamar,
Kendrick Lamar,
Dr. Dre,
Snoop
Dogg,
Eminem, and
Eminem.
Mary J. Blige.
That's who it was.
And I think it's going to be a rockin' lineup.
I think it'll be awesome.
I like it.
I feel like it's going to be one of those where we're all like, I already said, I'm like,
And we're in LA this year.
Yep. And that's how they probably got all those big stars.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be one of those where we're like, there's going to be one of them, I'm putting my money, it's going to be Snoop Dogg. Where everybody's like, Snoop Dogg said like 10 words. Because there's 5 people there.
Right.
Everybody's going to have their moment. And I feel like they'll open with Dr. Dre. And then Eminem will come in and have a big verse. And then they'll switch it over to Kendrick Lamar to have his verse
No,
of like.
no. I think before they switch him over, I think you got to have a bridge with Mary J. Blige.
That's the
there.
way you do it, yep.
Yep.
And then Kendrick, I feel like, does a big thing, and then they close it out all together. But Snoop Dogg's just going to be in the back like, yeah, huh? Making, just like, maybe I'll be wrong. If Snoop Dogg drops the best verse of
don't
his
know.
career.
I don't even know what's more important.
They gonna do nothing?
Him being in the halftime show or his TV show with Martha Stewart?
I don't know.
His TV show with Martha Stewart.
That's,
But
yeah.
That's all I
Are they going to do nothing but a G thing in SoFi Stadium? I would flip out. That'd be hilarious.
I don't know. I mean,
That's how they open it.
I think it's going to be a good. I think it's a good lineup.
I think it's better than getting the Weeknd because I was. I mean,
the Weeknd.
I was not a huge. I was not excited.
Some people were into it.
I was
I know
not.
some.
I understand
some
why.
older people were into it, so I don't.
I was not a fan, but granted, I felt like that song. It was the first time I heard it. I'm like, that's a cool song. Blinding Lights, obviously. And then I heard it 580 times more, and I was like, I'm sick of this.
Just in the commercials.
Yeah.
Not even there.
Just
not
Pepsi.
Even on the radio.
Goodness, it's like I opened a can of Pepsi and I heard it. I was like, when they put speakers in these things?
Hopefully they just change over to Coke. Maybe Coke will be the NFL sponsor.
I would prefer that because they're the better drink.
That too. Coke is better.
I mean, maybe like because Dr. Pepper has college, Pepsi has the NFL, Coke's just hanging out with Santa Claus. Coke has Santa Claus.
Coke has Santa Claus, and if you have Santa Claus on your side, you're not losing ever.
That's very true.
This is true. And Coke, I mean, remember when they used to make Coke Throwback?
Yes.
Okay, and that was way better because it had the real sugar.
Yep.
And the corn syrup. The only reason the corn syrup's in there is it's a big corn syrup lobby in Congress. Which,
Yeah.
Well, and actually, and lobbies over the, and also lobbies over some of the big corporations to get to it. Which corn syrup's fine. It tastes good, but it's not the same as real sugar.
Yep.
Sugar cane's real good
Oh,
too.
yeah. Well, Coke Life, the Coke Life, yeah, where it's the cane
Well,
sugar.
I don't know what was up with that one.
I don't think it was as good.
Not
I didn't think it was as
not
good.
Coke Throwback though.
It wasn't the same.
Okay.
It was fine. I drank it some, but it wasn't. It honestly, the best way to drink any pop is glass bottles. Something about that glass bottle makes it taste
glass
better.
bottle. Now, if you have
Glass
the
bottle
Mexican
Coke.
The Mexican Coke is made with real sugar.
Yeah,
It
so
is
you've
that
told me
Meyer.
that. That
It
told me
is
it's
that
great.
Meyer,
Yep.
Okay. If you like a good Coke, go to McDonald's too. One in Mount Gilead's really good. If you go to Marion, don't go to the one by Walmart. Not too good. Not a good filter there. Now, if you want the mall, that's a good one. Right there. That's a good one. Okay? I'll tell you where to get the West Coast, because that's the only pop I drink. Well, sometimes I get a Sunkist or a Crush Orange every once in a while. I try to avoid the Pepsi. Anyway, that's enough of that.
We had a good
It's
Coke. We had a
time-
good Coca-Cola
it's
section.
time
We had the good
for
Coke.
Ryan's special section.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, so I will be discussing tomorrow all my MLB predictions because we're very NFL heavy over here. Well, I mean, we definitely delve into some MLB stuff. We delve into some NBA.
In a couple weeks, we'll be getting right into basketball.
And we'll be getting right into basketball.
Mostly NCAA,
Yep.
but we'll get to some NBA, but that's your thing. That's your
So I'm going to do a whole deep dive in the MLB playoffs, my predictions. I'm going to look back at what I predicted at the beginning of the season and then make fun of me or be very proud of myself about how I predicted the White Sox to be good. I'm very proud of that one. So we're going to look right now on for my special section, though, at the NL MVP odds. So Vegas Insider's odds on September 30th, which is just about 5 days ago, said that Bryce Harper is favored the most at minus 275, with Juan Soto at plus 325 and Fernando Tatis Jr. at plus 600, and then a huge jump, Paul Goldschmidt plus 5,000. So let's be realistic here. Soto, Tatis, Harper. Now, the whole season, it was a heavily talked about Tatis thing. Then the Phillies started running out, and I was like, go Phillies. I want the Phillies to win the NL East. That would be really fun because I feel like the Braves are basically a dead candidate as soon as they walk into the playoffs, which they are because the Brewers are awesome. So I stand by the Brewers are awesome. So Bryce Harper, I wanted to win MVP. I really liked what he had going on. And then Juan, he's Juan Soto. He's, and arguably the best hitter in baseball. I've had people compare him to the modern-day Ted Williams, which I think is a incredibly big thing. Foolish Baseball said a modern-day Ted Williams, but he's not far off. His numbers are off the charts. So let's look at Juan Soto's numbers for this year. He had the highest on-base percentage in the MLB at 465, batted .313, slugging plus on base. His OPS was a 999. His OPS plus was a 175. Now, what's really crazy is last year he batted a 217 OPS plus. Mm-hmm. So last year his numbers were even better. But granted, last year he also only played in 47 games because it was a shortened season. So he played 151 games this year, played all but 11. Because remember last year he started off out with COVID.
Yep.
And he was fifth in MVP voting last year, even though he had better numbers. Mm-hmm. But granted, like I said, shortened season, a little different. Now, obviously, the Nationals finished second to last in the NL East. But granted, that NL East was pretty close standings-wise. Mm-hmm. But he was awesome. I mean, everybody who watches, he also, home runs, he had 29. RBIs, he almost hit 100. He was at 95. So he had a really good year. I mean, he's Juan Soto. He's one of the best batters in the MLB, one of the best players in the MLB. Definitely think he could be a good candidate. Mm-hmm. Tatis led the NL in home runs with 42. That might be the most in the MLB. I think that's the most in the NL, though. I think I think for the AL, Shohei has more than that, right? You look that up for me real quick.
It could be. It's either between him and Vlad.
Yep. So batting average, Tatis much lower though at 282. His OBP 364, not even at the 400 mark. His slugging 611, making his OPS 975, and then his OPS plus 166.
That would be is tied for the most in the NL with Tatis at 42.
So him and Shohei both had 42, or
No.
him and Vlad?
No,
No, who had the most in the AL?
in the AL. You want the AL?
Yeah, I wanted the
It's a
AL.
tie between Salvador Perez, catcher for Kansas City
Okay.
Royals, and Vlad Guerrero Jr.
How many Vlad have?
48. They had
Okay, so 40 had the most in MLB, that's what I
Ohtani had
thought.
46.
Ohtani had more than Tatis.
All right,
Okay, so
Tatis,
Tatis
but-
only had the most in the NL. All right.
Tatis and Tatis. Excuse me. Yes. Why I thought you were on Harper stats. That's
Yep, you're good.
what I thought.
So then Bryce Harper.
And he had how many?
Bryce Harper had 42, so second double.
yeah.
Sorry, 42 doubles.
He had 35 home runs.
35 home runs.
And he only had 29. Soto did. Okay, there we go. So, yes, Tatis led the most home runs.
in the NL with
in
42.
the NL.
So now let's move over to Bryce Harper. Sorry about that. So Bryce Harper, his batting average was 309. So he's better than Tatis' batting average, but lower than Soto's. 429 OBP, lower than Soto's, obviously, because Soto led with 465, which is crazy. His slugging, though, was the highest with 615. His OPS, a 1.044 with a 179 OPS plus. So his slugging is off the charts for him. When he's hitting the ball, he's hitting it far. He's got the most doubles in the NL. And home runs, he had 35. So to be honest, I think all-around numbers, and granted, we're not starting to look into crazy deep numbers like, I mean, you want to go deep into stuff. We could look at a bunch of other numbers, but, you know, usually when you look at MVP, they almost always just look at these numbers and WAR. That's pretty much what they do. So his WAR for this year, Bryce Harper had a 5.9. Tatis had a 6.6. And Soto had a 7. So Soto had the highest WAR. For those of you who don't know, WAR is wins above replacement. It's basically an all-encompassing stat that you accumulate over the years that you play. So the more years you play, the higher WAR you're going to have because you did more things. So it's essentially just an all-encompassing stat that tries to calculate how important you were to your team. So Trout is going to have like the best WAR ever because he's going to play a long time and have really good numbers for a while. Whereas somebody who was awesome for a little bit won't have anywhere near as big of a WAR, and that's why it's kind of a bit of a hard stat to gauge because it's a lot of time-based. Guys can have crazy WAR just because they played longer than other guys. So like a Ted Williams won't have the highest WAR just because he didn't get to play as many seasons, but the seasons he did play, he was awesome. So that's kind of the one thing.
He played 20 seasons even though he was off some.
What?
Pretty sure he played 20 seasons even though he was off some.
Even though he's awesome, he's played 20?
I'm going to look at that up.
Well, I'm saying some guys got, you know, in the MLB, some guys played like way long. So, Soto, to me, it's
19 years.
19? Okay, then more than I thought.
He was off 4.5
Wow.
for going to World War II in Korea.
Wow.
Yeah. Those were his best years.
Yeah. All right. So,
Back to the
Soto, to be honest, I think Tatis is a dead candidate, especially with the way that the Padres fell apart. That feeds into it. Narrative always feeds into MLB. I think he's a dead candidate. Honestly, to me, it's Bryce Harper or Juan Soto. To be honest, I think Soto's OBP pops off the page like crazy with a 4.65.
I agree.
And his OPS is a 999. It's almost at that 1 mark. And Harper's OPS plus is a 179. His OPS plus is a 175. So they're very close at that. Really, to me, it's a toss-up, but I honestly believe they're going to go with Bryce Harper. I could be wrong, and I'm perfectly fine with that because Juan Soto is one of my favorite players. Actually, Bryce Harper isn't. I actually prefer Juan Soto, like from a personality perspective.
Right.
He's one of my favorite players.
Right.
But I just think it feels like it's Bryce Harper's year to win it. I felt like he had it going on with the Phillies, and his numbers overall are stronger than Juan, but Soto's numbers are close enough, you can make an argument. So I'm going to take it to be Bryce Harper. I think it's who they're going to go with, but I would love it for Soto because Soto's like 3rd or 4th favorite player in the MLB. So that is it. So I guess the odds do not lie. Bryce Harper and Juan Soto, and then Tatis. So I honestly believe it should be Bryce Harper, but if it's Juan Soto, fine by me. No complaints. Now, I will say, that was a decent special section, but it was nowhere near as good as last week's. Last week's still the best we've ever had.
Yes, with the primetime analysis of who played what primetime games and when and how much.
Oh, yeah. Very proud of that.
Yes, I like that one because I find it interesting to see it's all about the ratings and see.
Well, you and I are big television people.
We are.
Yeah. CBS, baby.
That's right. Just like Jerry.
Now, okay, quick thing. Saw they
thing.
had this new show called Ghosts. I thought it looked dumb.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, I saw they had a commercial. They were a commercial for it.
What channel?
CBS.
Okay.
Now, I personally have come to the conclusion that the majority of network television shows that aren't sports, like I guess television shows that wouldn't count. Network television shows that aren't, like stuff that's been going on forever, like Survivor, are borderline garbage.
What do you count as forever? 10 plus?
I'm saying, like, you know what you're getting into when you watch Law and Order, right? Like, you know what it is.
Right.
That's not like a completely new idea. Anything they try to come out new, it's not trying to, like, Law and Order isn't trying. FBI, I would count as like a part of Law and Order because like they're using.
No.
They're using. All right, here's a pitch. Here's let me rephrase. Can I rephrase?
No.
Can I rephrase? Can I rephrase?
Maybe.
Okay. I know you're a big fan of this, so let me try to rephrase.
Okay.
The way they structure network television, I'm going to use Fox with Masked Singer as the best example. They had a new idea. They did Masked Singer. It did really well for them. So then they did the Masked Dancer. Then they did I Can Hear Your Voice. Then they did the new thing where they're like AR and you can't see who they are, but it's essentially Masked Singer. Just now they're in iPads or.
Yeah.
They have one good idea and they make 40 versions of it, and that's what goes on with Law and Order, which is how you get all these different shows.
And you had SVU.
Yep.
And you had Criminal Intent.
Yep.
You had Trial by Jury.
Yep.
LA.
Yep.
Hate Crime
FBI.
didn't make it. FBI is not part of Law and Order. That's the FBI franchise. There's FBI. There's FBI International.
Oh my
there's FBI something
gosh.
else. And Law and Order just
CSI. Then there's CSI LA. There's CSI Vegas now.
NCIS.
Oh my gosh.
NCIS New Orleans.
Oh my
NCIS,
gosh.
all
You
that.
see what I'm saying?
I'm just telling you. And speaking of Law and Order,
Yeah.
to pitch this in, we're going to plug it right here. Law and Order, the original Law and Order, who has been on hiatus since its retirement in 2010, is coming back to NBC, hopefully this spring, if not next season. And some of the original cast members might be there.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
80-year-old Jack McCoy, played by Sam Waterston, would be awesome. Hopefully, Anita Van Buren will be back, who Estefan Mergerson played, who is the police chief there.
Yep.
But some of the original detectives have gone. Jerry Orbach, he's dead. So, but that's going to be a good one coming up. Law and Order, catch it, hopefully, coming back, NBC.
I'm just saying, so they got all these shows that are essentially like, they take, they have the same idea formula and they spread it a bunch of different ways. And then you've got the shows that they try to do something new with, and I feel like 95% of those are garbage.
Well.
So I'm saying, it's really weird with network television.
Can't have Seinfeld.
You're either, that's true, but I'm saying it's like you either have a show that you can watch 40 versions of, like game shows, crime shows, whatever, or you have this new idea that's not good.
Well.
And I think a lot of your like good television shows with your bigger budgets and your better writing are the ones that are on the streaming services because they have the funds to do it. But it's just disappointing to me. I'm like, at this point, NBC, why are you still even putting out shows?
Well, okay. This Is Us is really
They're not. Okay, see, that's 1 in a million, though. They hardly ever do something like that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, no, they did one.
How many new shows have they done that weren't good? See what I'm saying? Yeah, too many.
I mean, that's how it is in the TV business. You got to pilot things.
Yeah, it's
how it works.
100 strikeouts for 2 home runs.
Well,
You do the Aaron Judge stats, I guess.
last time I checked, I don't have the millions and billions.
That's true. Yeah, I just think it's dumb. Like, there's always some new show, and it always looks bad. And then it's like once every 50 times you get something good.
Well, you got to keep plugging away at the formula, I guess.
I guess I don't think about how many shows. All right, let me say. There are only 2 streaming services that consistently try to put out good stuff every time. And it's HBO and Disney Plus, even though I think some of the stuff on Disney Plus is crap. Netflix puts out 500 things, Quinn. You don't even realize. Like, look at the Netflix originals. They have a billion things. They have a billion things.
Taken off the last couple of years. Though.
Yeah, but I'm saying when they have a hit, it's good. Like, it's good.
I agree.
But they have 20 other things they made that I'm like, why did you even greenlight this? You know?
Well, because it's a subscription-based model.
It is.
It's
so they
not
don't have
about.
to.
It's
I
not
agree.
about quality.
It's about quantity.
This is not.
I guess the only service that I think has overall quality over quantity is HBO.
I like HBO.
They
Home box
consistently
office
put
for a
up
reason.
good stuff. Whenever they have a new idea, it's interesting. And I don't always watch it, but I'm like, I like Barry, but I'm like,
right.
I guess I'm saying I'm a little disappointed with whoever NBC has writing or ABC or your network television. I think they need to step it up and try to at least attempt to
You
combat.
can only get enough Dick Wolf and Jerry Seinfeld for that.
That's true.
That's all you can do.
Speaking of Seinfeld, it is on Netflix now for everybody. You can watch the best sitcom on Netflix. So
Yes.
just go do that. Don't waste your time with some new CBS show that's not funny.
Or Friends. Happy time, people. Happy 69th birthday yesterday, Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians, who played football at Virginia Tech with the Hokies. To start off his career, has been a journeyman in coaching in college and NFL, with a stint of being the head coach of the Temple Owls in the 1980s, until becoming an assistant coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers from 2003 to 2011. He won 2 Super Bowls as an offensive assistant. One was as an offensive assistant under Bill Cowher, and another one as offensive coordinator under Mike Tomlin. He ultimately was released later on and signed to become the offensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts under Chuck Pagano in 2012. He took over as an interim head coach mid-season after Pagano's cancer diagnosis with leukemia, where he posted a 9-3 record to get the Colts to the playoffs. He was named the AP, Associated Press, NFL Coach of the Year, and was the first interim coach to win the award. He became the coach of the Arizona Cardinals for 5 seasons afterward, where Carson Palmer landed, and made the postseason in 2 of those before his retirement in 2017. But he came out of retirement in 2019 to become the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he had posted Jameis Winston's best season in Tampa Bay at
30-30.
where he also won last year's Super Bowl with Tom Brady. The Buccaneers are looking to be one of the top teams again this season under Arians. Ryan?
I mean, he's got a heck of him and Reed just like the two faces of, yeah, we know how to run quarterbacks.
I mean, Frank Reich tried to be that, but obviously he's not doing too well with Prince Harry. So
no. I hopped off the Prince Harry train. We discussed.
I know.
It's a good thing I did. I would have been crashing into whatever trains crash into, I guess.
They crash into things.
Yeah.
They derail.
They did. It's going on like you talk.
Ever seen the movie Unstoppable?
No, I watched
You need to watch
Speed.
that movie.
Is it like Die Hard on a train?
It's about an unstoppable train that was unmanned.
Oh, all right.
It was set at 70 miles an hour. It was based on a real life event
Really?
that happened in Ohio in 2001.
Interesting.
Yeah, so look it up. Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Gotcha.
But
Oh wait, I got something. I got something once we're done with this.
okay.
It's just a little quick thing I'm throwing in at the end.
Okay. Your shout out? Is it your shout out for today?
No, it's a question for you. I'm
Oh.
curious. All right.
Okay. Happy anniversary, Max Scherzer. On this past Sunday in 2015, Max Scherzer pitched his second no-hitter of the 2015 MLB season for the Washington Nationals. He struck out 17 batters and allowed no walks in that game. He tied Nolan Ryan for most strikeouts and a no-hitter with 17, and became the 6th pitcher to ever pitch multiple no-hitters in a single season. Obviously, Max Scherzer is being teed up probably to be the starting pitcher for the Dodgers on Wednesday.
I mean, what can you say? It hasn't been said. He's awesome. I mean, him and Strasburg were the 2 aces for that awesome 2019 Nationals team, featuring my guy Juan Soto. And I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in the MLB. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be talked about for years as like the big strikeout pitcher of the. I don't think Garrett Cole will go down as the big strikeout pitcher of this era. I think it'll be Max Scherzer, because Scherzer is the face of, you know, the psychopath pitcher that strikes you out the 100-mile-per-hour fastballs.
Right. And happy trails this past Friday and Sunday to Jeopardy records and NFL milestones and records. On Friday, current Jeopardy champion Matt Amodio won his 33rd straight game, which broke James Holzhauer's streak, which he is now Amodio is now second on the all-time list. James Holzhauer, if you don't remember him from 2 years ago on Jeopardy, famous all-in push-in, because he is a professional sports gambler from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Really?
So he has broken that. Now, obviously, Holzhauer has won double the money Amodio has right now at this current stage, but that has been broken, which is kind of bittersweet there. And on to Sunday, NFL milestones and records that were hit and broken. Roethlisberger Ben Roethlisberger joined the 400 career passing touchdown club, and he passed Dan Marino for 6th all-time on the career passing yards list. Aaron Rodgers tied Dan Marino for 6th all-time with 420 passing touchdowns, and Tom Brady broke Drew Brees' record, which was set last season when he retired for most career passing yards. Anything to say about those, Ryan?
Quite poetic that he did it over the Patriots. It's also funny to me that Brees' last game was against the Bucs. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot of interesting...
Coincidental.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird coincidences there. And I mean, I know you don't like it when I say it, but Brady's the best to ever do it. So he's obviously going to break the records. I think he's best to ever do it, period.
In this era.
Mahomes got a chance to be, one of the second or third, but Brady's best to ever do it. So
in this era.
Doesn't surprise me he broke it.
So... Okay.
Big finish time?
Are you asking that question after the big finish? Or are you asking it now?
I'll ask it now for the big finish. This is just for kicks and giggles.
All right.
So, Quinn, they announced from Illumination Entertainment, the people behind the Minions movies, the Mario movie, which comes out December 2022.
Okay. You want me to go see it with you?
No, well, I mean, we could do that. Yeah, if you're offering, that sounds great.
Okay.
But it's an animated movie.
Uh-huh.
Who do you think is the voice of Mario?
Adam Sandler.
No.
Al Pacino.
No, that'd be awesome. I would love that. This one, I am not high on. I really like this actor.
Is it Chris Pratt?
Yes.
Okay.
I really like Chris Pratt, but he's not Mario.
Well, we're going to see if he's Mario. Maybe she's
Goodness.
Jurassic Park.
I am excited
Anyway.
because Jack Black is Bowser, and I feel like that'll be awesome.
I do think that perfectly fits
But
him.
Jack Black's
Who's
good in
Princess
everything.
Peach?
Anya Taylor-Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy. She's a young actress.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she was... I can't really think of anything she's in. Charlie Day is Luigi from It's Always Sunny.
Okay.
Who else? Keegan-Michael Key plays Toad. Fred Armisen from SNL fame is Cranky Kong. Donkey Kong is Seth Rogen, not the highest on that one.
Okay.
I'm not...
Why not?
I
think it fits him.
I don't think the voice is there.
I think it fits him. We'll see. I think it'll be interesting to see.
I think it'll be interesting, but to me it feels like somebody was making a joke of what they make their Mario movie cast. It's like, but I'm like, I don't think Chris Pratt's right. He's too big, strong man for Mario. Mario needs to be high-pitched Mario. I don't know.
Luigi!
Yeah, like that. Yeah, and I don't think Chris Pratt can do that. He's like,
Well, we're
he's
gonna
going to
see.
come in and be like, it's a me, Mario. You're going to be like, that's weird.
They'll have to train him. He's got a year.
He's got a year.
That's all I can say about that.
Jack Black might have to carry the movie on his back.
Okay. You ready for the big finish?
Yes.
Picks for this week on the NFL. Final 90 seconds. Here we go. Tonight's Monday Night Football that was delayed by lightning. Chargers versus Raiders.
Mm-hmm. I'm going Chargers because I love Herbert. I know you thought I was going to take Raiders, didn't you? You knew I'd take Chargers? Yeah. All right, I took Chargers because I have functioning brain cells, and I really like the Raiders team, but it's got to be the Chargers.
Okay, I'm going to take the Chargers too. Herbert's cooking right there in his kitchen right now. I'll be interested to see how things go.
He's been awesome.
For week 5 here, Seahawks versus Rams.
This would be a big statement win for the Seahawks if they get it, but no, it's Rams, right?
Well, I mean, can Carroll turn it around here? I mean, the Rams might be a little down still. It's a short week against the Cardinals.
Come on. That's a good Thursday game.
It's at Seattle. We're going to take the Seahawks here.
Taking Rams.
Chargers and Browns on Sunday.
Oh, can we come back? Can I skip? Come back?
Nope, we got to pick it now. We're running out of time. We're running out of show here.
Chargers. I love Herbert. I'll take Chargers.
I'm going to take the Chargers as well. I think they're going to be hot after this win over the Raiders.
Oh, I hate doing that. I love Nick Chubb.
Cardinals versus 49ers.
Cardinals, because they're 4-0.
Yes, Cardinals at home. They should be able to beat and handle the injury-riddled 49ers. And finally, to cap off Sunday night, Chiefs-Bills.
Chiefs, I'm not that high on the Bills anyway.
Nope, Chiefs are turning the ball over too much. Bills are cooking right now.
Oh, boy.
After they got dismantled by the Steelers week 1. And we will see the Bills take that win on Sunday night. And that's it for the big finish. And more bells for the big finish. Must be Whom the Bell Tolls recording in the next studio. Any shout-outs real quick?
Well, first off, I hated to do that to Nick Chubb. I love Nick Chubb. I'm a Panthers fan, and yet my favorite running back in the NFL is Nick Chubb, just because he's awesome.
Well.
I love Nick Chubb. Christian McCaffrey, you're second. I'm sorry. I own a Christian McCaffrey shirt, and I don't even own a Nick Chubb shirt, but I love Nick Chubb.
Well,
he's the king of
put
the
it on the Christmas list.
He's the king of the extra. Yeah, that's true. He's the king of the extra yard. He always gets extra yards. He's awesome. Love Nick Chubb, but I had to take the Chargers, take my guy Herbert. Herbert and Mahomes, man. Awesome. I think my 3 favorite quarterbacks got to be Darnold, Mahomes, and Herbert, and one of those is not as talented as the other two, but
Correct.
the other two are awesome.
So.
But, yeah, I guess the shout-out is going to go to, I feel like I shout out a lot.
Uh-huh.
Not Joey Votto.
You don't have to shout out if you don't want to.
I know, I always do a shout-out. It's going to be
Okay.
the thank you. It's always a thank you. We're going to do a thank you to... You know what? We're not going to do Herbert. Almost did Herbert because he's so good. But we're going to give a thank you to Nick Chubb because you're the king of the extra yard. We're doing another. We're just thanking Nick Chubb because I felt bad. I took the Chargers.
Twice. Just because Ryan.
Well, this is the end thank you. We always have one, and this is the ending thank you. Thank you, Nick Chubb. I'm sorry I took the Chargers over you. You're like the best running back when Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry are hurt. And Saquon Barkley hasn't been the same since 2017. You are the best running back in the NFL. So,
real quick shout out right now. Thanks to HBO Max, put a lot more Scooby-Doo content on
They did?
their app. We just
Great.
released the second half of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who Season 2, which
Good.
contains mini guest episodes with Terry Bradshaw,
Nice.
Cher.
did you
Carol
see
Burnett.
Bradshaw has his own show?
This is third three. Where you been? This is the third season.
This is the third season?
Yeah.
I've never seen it in my life.
All your kids and his fourth
Network
wife.
television. What do I tell you?
Well, it's all reality. It's based off the Kardashians, I'm sure. So check out Scooby-Doo and Guess Who Season 2 on HBO Max. Thank you for listening, and good night. This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production. Please note that portions of this podcast were edited before the final cut was produced, and this episode was recorded on October 3rd. The sections of Fortune Teller and Happy Time are copied from the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption, and there was no intention to infringe on copyrights of these segments and their related music. Stay tuned for our next podcast next Monday here on the Sort of Sports Podcast YouTube channel.